Shalom, shalom family, giving all honor and praises to Yah Yisrael. In the previous video, we talked about how illnesses created by viruses have been a chronic problem in our society for well over a century, and that the key to overcoming these illnesses is found in our own immune system. So, in today's video, we're going to discuss exactly how pathogens affect our body's immune system. Okay? Now, your immune system is the part of your temple that's responsible for your natural defenses against anything causing disease in the body. It's comprised of white blood cells, the lymphatic system, and microflora found in your body's digestive tract. Now, think of the body as a city or a piece of occupied land. Now, that land needs protection, and you can't allow for any foreign invaders to enter in to disrupt the natural cycle of how that ecology works. So you need soldiers that can constantly police the system to make sure that there's no disruptions. That's the purpose of your white blood cells. They're your body's enforcers and defenders. They constantly search out for foreign pathogens that can cause your body harm. And when they find them, they rush in to put up a defense to stop them. Next, we have the lymphatic system, or what some may refer to as the body's second circulatory system. Its main function is to aid in the elimination of toxins and waste collected by your body's white blood cells from the body. And lastly, we have the microbiome, or what some may refer to as the metagenome. It's a collection of microorganisms, such as bacteria, yeast, and viruses that reside throughout the body, but primarily in your gut. The microbiome outnumbers your body's cells 3-1, but some studies even say that that number goes as high as 10-1. But generally speaking, there are more microorganisms in your body than there are human genetic material. Now, these organisms play an important role in overall health, from digestion to the absorption of many nutrients. These organisms can either be friendly, which means that they aid the body, or they can be harmful, and that's where viruses come into play. Now, there's no specific estimation as to how much viruses actually exist in our bodies, but most studies say that viruses outnumber our body's bacteria 10-1 at any given time. So viruses are the most abundant organism in our bodies. In fact, they outnumber all other living species on this planet combined. Now, most viruses that live in our bodies aren't harmful, or they don't trigger a negative reaction by the immune system, because, according to some, viruses aren't really considered a living organism. They lack many of the characteristics that make up and define a living species. Basically, they're just sacks of genetic material that rely on other living organisms to replicate. So most of the time, they lie dormant, waiting for the right opportunity to affect the living host. Now, the white blood cells of our immune system do an excellent job at keeping pathogens and viruses at bay. But if our immune systems become compromised, or if our immune systems become weakened, our body's natural defense against pathogens decreases, leaving our temples susceptible to viral and bacterial infection. Now, here's a quick list of things that can weaken your immune system. Number 1, autoimmune diseases, such as type 1 diabetes, inflammatory bowel disease, AIDS, any disease where your immune system attacks its own body. Number 2, poor dietary choices, eating processed and refined foods, eating foods low in phytonutrients. Phytonutrients are any substance found in plants that can help heal the body, and eating foods high in refined sugars. When you consume refined sugar, it triggers an inflammatory response, which over time can create a disease state in the body. Okay. Number 3, poor lifestyle choices, such as obesity or overeating, chronic smoking, chronic drinking of alcohol, heavily prescribed medication. If you take too many medication or too many pharmaceutical drugs, the side effects can overtax your system and bring your immunity down. Okay. All right. Number 4, lack of proper sleep. Now, when you're sleeping at night, your body produces in abundance what's called cytokines. Okay. Now, cytokines are proteins that are produced and created by your white blood cells, and they use them as a form of communication between cells. So, for example, if a pathogen enters into your body and like a virus, and it enters into the cell and starts attacking the cell can use cytokines to communicate with the white blood cells to tell them to come and defend against the virus. All right. Now, if you lack in proper sleep, then that means your cytokine production decreases. And if your cytokine production decreases, that means your overall immunity decreases as well. Okay. And number 5, chronic stress. Now, this can come from an array of different sources. It could be physical, whether you are, lacking proper sleep, or if you are lacking proper exercise. All right. Most Americans don't exercise enough, or if you are lacking certain nutrients, you're not getting enough fruits and vegetables in your diet. This can cause stress on the body, as well as emotional. All right. And if you're in a bad relationship with somebody, or if you are grieving the loss of a loved one, it can be mental stress. If you are having a problem at your job, or if you don't have a job at all, and you have economic woes, or you're trying to balance your life with children and their school and work, that can create stress as well. So anything that creates stress causes your body to release cortisol. And cortisol is a hormone that your body releases when it's in a flight or fight situation. So when your body really needs to, be alert and make a decision to, save its life, it produces cortisol. But cortisol is only meant to be released and used for short periods of time, to get you out of that immediate situation that you're in danger. And then once you come out that situation, then at that point, you can begin to calm down, and your stress begins to calm down. And at that point, cortisol levels can decrease. But if you are living in a constant state of stress, like every day, then this cortisol production remains high. Thus, it can bring down your immunity over time. Now, you may be asking yourself, why are we going over all this information? Well, it's because this information is critical in understanding your body's immune system and its relationship to vaccinations. And there's a lot of anticipation and expectation surrounding the vaccination to COVID-19. And once it's created and available, it's going to be the catch-all, end-all solution that's going to come save humanity. But it's important to understand that vaccinations are only effective if your immune system is not compromised by the conditions previously stated. It's your immune system that ultimately fights off infections. Vaccinations only trigger your body's immune response so that your white blood cells can recognize and defend against any pathogens that enter into the body a lot quicker once you're exposed to them. So having a strong immune system is really the only protection against any viral infection from occurring inside the body. And in the next video, we're going to reveal the number 1 strategy you can engage in to protecting the body against any viral infection. So if you like this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button, then make sure you hit the notification bell so you can be notified every time a new video uploads and becomes available. So until then, your health is your wealth.